Welcome to GisselleOS. My name is Gisselle, and today is day 34 of my 130 Gisselle Hard. So I'm challenging myself to refine and level up my life. Pretty much before this 130-day challenge, I was in a learning chapter. I learned what I could about myself, life, and before then I was learning about business. So it felt like I was going from an institutional pipeline to claiming my life as my own and choosing to live as I'd like, to now bringing those two, fusing them, and pushing myself as a professional and as a person. So what have I done the past 34 days? Well, first, this couch. It's clean, it's spotless. Why? Because I knew that I wanted to film for GisselleOS, and this would be the space. But my couch is always full of clothes, and that might seem trivial. How is this couch full of clothes related to leveling up your life? Well, it's little habits like those that I've been noticing and upgrading. And so that's the first part, is noticing where you allow yourself buffer to fail. For me, that looks like showing up a couple minutes late. Something I expect from myself, something I find normal. To be honest, I'm not very attached to time. But as someone who wants to be known for excellence and for meeting my commitments 100%, that means showing up on time. So that's another buffer that I realized I was giving myself, that in case I failed, it's okay if I'm late. Well, what if I don't think it's okay to be late? What happens then? And change my belief. I've changed my belief around how I perceive time and the way that I show up. And that's why this couch is clean, because I've decided to start doing things. Not even decided, I've just started doing them. And this shift that I've been making the past 34 days has been a gradual one. I haven't been able to plot it out as this week I'm going to be doing this and this week I'm going to be doing that. And the goal is to get to a point where my projects are running so smoothly. I am ahead 3 months on planning and execution. But for now, we're getting started on the YouTube channel, which I had posted on before. The lore around that, I was launching the GOS channel the same day alongside with Letters from Gisselle. And the video that I last posted was almost an hour long. I had it edited and everything. I just exported it. And then I had an issue with storage. And then in addressing that storage issue, I accidentally deleted the entire video, including the original video files. So what happened was, I had the first export, which was only the first 15 minutes, and that's all I have left of that video. So I posted it. That was what I was supposed to launch GOS with, as an official venture. But before that, I was doing it more casually, trying to figure out what I was trying to do with the channel. And the reason why I started it is because I have my personal brand from Gisselle, and something that I have discovered about myself is that a lot of my identity is tied to my ideas and my systems, and that's essentially what I'm sharing with you today, is the systems that I've used so far to change my life in 34 days and what my plan is for the rest of the challenge. And then I'm just going to be bringing you along every week. My identity is tied to my ideas, my belief system, and with my personal content, I do like to express my artistic and creative self, but that's only what you see. And what I want to share on this channel is the motivations behind what I do, what my thought process is like, because what I have curated for myself isn't typical. Because what I'm doing with my life isn't typical. And as someone with ADHD, I've had to learn ways to do things that aren't neurotypical. And I think that's beneficial to people who are wanting to build their life in their own terms. And if that's you, welcome. I hope to see people. No, I don't hope to see anything. I hope that this is enough to inspire you to do what you dream to do in your life, because it's possible. We're living the dream. What dream are you living? Yeah, that's the intention of the channel. That's what happened. I wasn't able to launch it because I lost the video, and I thought 15 minutes worth it didn't make sense, because the video only, it somehow magically cut off right where that last video ends is where the ad for Letters from Gisselle was going to be. So I had an ad placement for Letters that was part of the launch. But I just took it as a sign that it just wasn't the time for it, and I decided to shift my focus to Letters from Gisselle. And now we're here. That learning period of my life, which is about the last 2 years. So from when I graduated, I'd say until about July. I had August to chill, and then September was where I started to feel more motivated to apply myself. Before, not that I wasn't, and that's where I want to highlight and recognize that the work that I've done so far has been internal. And what kind of proof is that? So I'm documenting it for the world to see. I am living proof. I'm the theory in practice. My own theory, my own philosophy. Started thinking like, what? If I understand this so well, what is happening in my life? Which I'm so grateful for the life that I do have now. Really, my needs are taken care of. My life is so flexible, but I would like a higher degree of freedom. And that comes with meeting financial goals and life goals. So that's what the 130 days is measuring is until decision date, which is January 30th. And on that day, I'll see if I made the goals that I've set out for myself. And now for what I've been doing in the past 34 days. Now, why it hasn't been on a timeline or some kind of schedule, going back to what I said about my systems not being typical. I don't follow a routine, nor do I try to force myself to execute habits. And everyone has habits, things that you do without thinking, but I'm not trying to build habits. I'm building my identity. And what that looked like in the past month was not pressuring myself, no expectations, just allowing myself to show up to the day as I could. I think that's important when you're starting something and you're changing yourself completely. You want to accept where you are now so you can then build from what you are currently at rather than avoiding what you're showing up as and punishing yourself to be a new person. And people use routines for that. And if they don't meet them, then all of a sudden they're not meeting their goals. Well, what if you just let yourself do what you felt like doing that day? That's more than nothing. And eventually you'll start to, I see it as like clearing out. Like you're starting with clutter, and then by allowing yourself to take it day by day as your energy allows, as your attention allows, you're making progress, maybe not linearly. In total, you've made progress. So I would say about the first 3 weeks clearing out my clutter. So what that looked like, well, one, you got to know what you're going for. So for me, what that looks like is posting every day on Letters from Gisselle, posting weekly on my personal brand, posting weekly on GisselleOS, and then getting ahead of my designs and shipments for letters, as well as programming daily for Sonatic. And that's not where I started. So now I am doing all of those minus programming daily for Sonatic and the weekly posting for GOS. So guess where we're at? This is the weekly post for GOS. I cleared that out. And then from there, once you are partaking in your habits, you have to maintain your momentum. That is what replaces motivation. When you are in the throw of things, you have no choice but to keep going. Versus when you are forcing yourself, pushing, you're using extra energy just to do it rather than doing things and allowing them to become a rhythm for your life. And that's how I'm doing this. With a personal brand, that's the anchor that I'm using. Instead of using, again, motivation or discipline, I'm just using the things that I like. So I like posting on my personal account. So while that one's not related to any of my other goals, it is what allows me to continue with my goals because I'm doing what I like first, and that sets the rhythm. Every week I'm posting on my personal account. I'm revisiting that point. And so there's a constant check-in as, have I posted daily on Letters? For me to be posting weekly on my personal. And then GisselleOS overlaps on top of that habit, where I know that I have a weekly video coming up. So now I'm filming on, I'm not going to tell you what day actually, but I think the release date is going to be Mondays. So see me on Monday? Question mark? Yeah. I think that covers it. Yeah. Habits that I've changed in the past 34 days that I've gotten to is my room has been clean for the last 3 weeks. If you know me, that's astounding. I've been a germaphobe my whole life until I was about like 22. And I think it's huge that I beat germophobia, but I was still a mess. And I thought that that was because I had ADHD. And I do think it was related, my lack of organization. Not that I had a lack of organization. I confused myself because I think I'm a type B. But then my bestie was like, no, you're a type A. You're just a type A that looks like a type B. And that changed everything for me because I realized it's like, yeah, you know what? I am very particular. Yeah, the lines are a little blurry. So that's kind of the theme of what this challenge is clarifying, refining, upgrading, really pushing my standards. So rather than trying to do my best every day, I am making my minimum every day my best. And then from there, anything on top of that is, well, extra. It's a win. Habits that I have that I built in the last 30 days, doing things now, doing things as I think of them, rather than like putting them off and then it turns into a list. And I've just noticed that that works best with my ADHD. Anyway, I think that's it. I'll see y'all next week. I don't think the format won't look like this. This is just what the intro. Well, you know what? The videos will be on this couch. The rundowns of the week. But I also am planning on including clips throughout the week. So I'm excited to see how this channel and this challenge develop. And I'm excited to bring you along with me now that I'm at a point where I think I've taken care of myself personally and I'm ready to show up in a consistent way with my audience. I'm ready to show up in a consistent way as an artist. Yeah, that was my decluttering. I felt like I was behind the scenes and I'm ready to open the stage because the show is on. The show has been going. And that's my motivation behind this, is to share with people that are ready to change their life, people who are changing their life. I'd like to connect with more people that are on a similar journey. And that's something that I've expected from my work, considering that I'm a music professional and a founder, yet I'm so isolated. So I do think that the internet is going to be a part of connecting me with people that are on similar walks and similar industries, similar professions. Wow, I did it. I finally filmed this video.